Okay, very good afternoon. I am number one. My name is Dan Jansen, and I present to you the Holy See. We're a seed-stage startup based in the city of Haifa, just about an hour and a half drive up the coast from here. And I can't see my slides yet. We are in the field of autonomous driving. We don't make cars or sensors, but rather we provide training data, so that the Uber case that everyone heard of is a history, is a singularity of the past. The reason this happened is that, according to a recent investigation report, the Uber vehicle did not receive good education. It was not trained in recognizing pedestrians under all possible conditions. And our mission is to provide databases containing edge cases and corner cases, such as ladies with bikes at night, so that this can never happen again. Now, in the field, people conventionally use two types of training data, basically images that contain information about what's what, and the so-called ground truth, so that deep neural networks, which are actually at the heart of autonomous vehicles, they're responsible for the perception of the world around the car, can recognize those objects under all conceivable conditions. So there's synthetic data that are generated from virtual world simulators and hand-labeled data, which are very expensive to obtain, and that's a market that's going to grow to over $2 billion by 2025. Now, each of those modalities is complementary, has its pros and cons, but we come up with a technology that we call Strada that takes the best of both worlds. So the way it works is that we take raw background data and we augment them with objects from our own proprietary database, so that the result looks very photorealistic. And this way we augment both the diversity and the quantity of data. So if we add this one to our database, then we can augment the same image in a different way. Now, this is our MVP, or minimal viable product, that we're working on just now, a data set where we can actually implant artificial cars into empty backgrounds. In terms of other people tackling the same problem, we've got all these companies that basically outsourcing platforms to cheap labor countries where you can manually annotate your data. Then you have all those companies that build ever more realistic simulators of virtual cities and proxy worlds. But as far as I know, we are the only one in that space, which is basically providing a solution to using real-world data, but not requiring any form of human post-processing. Now, there are at least 3 revenue streams that we can generate, offering our ever-growing data sets on a subscription basis, or building custom data sets for specific environments. The thing to note is that training data are very specific to a location, so you'll need different data sets for different countries and cities. So if we have a model that says we can generate $10 million revenues per territory. So if we're scaling worldwide, we're talking a multi-hundred-million-dollar company. These are the people we've been talking to. We get early traction.
Okay, jury.
Hi, I have 2 questions. One on the data set. So where is your added value in looking at companies like Uber and Google that are like accumulating huge data sets which they could use to do these training models? And then second, if you can repeat the business model, because I'm not sure I followed. It was very quick.
Okay, so we're talking about training data, not just any kind of big data. Training data is special kind of imagery with ground truth that contains labeling or annotation of the different objects, so that deep neural networks can be trained in the appearance of those objects under all conceivable conditions. Okay?
But is there an added value to real data that is being accumulated when you create
So the real data that's been accumulated is not annotated. It's not suitable for training. Okay. You need to outsource it to countries like Bangladesh, India, where, say, Mobileye has over 2,000 people working full-time going over this raw data and preparing training data sets from them.
Got it. And can you please repeat just the business model very shortly?
The business model? Okay, so basically there are at least 3 revenue streams, as I said. One is building custom data sets for specific territories or locations, then providing access to our database sets on compression. Third one is certification. We can generate scenarios, test scenarios and edge cases, and feed them as inputs to sensor systems on an autonomous vehicle and count the number of missed detections and false positives.
Do you have patents?
2 patents pending, yes.
Pending.
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much.